Welcome back everybody, Danny here. Time for another sim racing video, and in today's video I want to talk about whether or not you should start off PC sim racing with iRacing being the first title that you play. So I'll give you a little backstory. When I was racing on consoles, 100%, when I found out about iRacing, that's all I wanted to do. I knew as soon as I realized what iRacing was that I was going to buy or build a PC rig for the sole purpose of me moving away from consoles over to PC simulation racing, and more specifically, and the only game that I knew of or cared about was iRacing. Now I know there are a lot of people that feel that same way. If you put yourself into the mindset of a console racer, you know, especially those back then like myself who were racing Forza Motorsport 7, Gran Turismo, things like that, there is a huge difference between a game like that and a racing game like iRacing on the PC. I'm not even going to get into whether or not you should call one a sim and one not. That's not what this is about. There's just a huge difference in those two kind of games. You can call them what you'd like. But what I knew for sure is that I was going to do whatever I had to do to make my way over to iRacing. So that's exactly what I did. I purchased a PC, used it for a little bit, realized it wasn't that great, bought some new components, a new graphics card and stuff like that, tore it apart, put it back together, and I was on my way, got into iRacing and started playing. And I was definitely enjoying it. It was a lot of fun. But there's an aspect of racing and iRacing that you don't realize is there until you're long into your career. So if you haven't played iRacing, there's a career. They don't call it a career, but I call it a career. There's a step, like a playthrough, a point A to point Z kind of thing, where you start out in the rookie class and you work your way up and you work your way up, and eventually you're racing with the pros and things like that. The thing is, you have to be really careful, because making a few minor mistakes really sets you back really far. Now, luckily in my case, I did make some mistakes, and those setbacks did not stop me from playing the game. But I have talked to a lot of people who got into iRacing thinking it was one thing, and then they realized it's very hard to move forward, and they allowed a few mistakes to get in their way, and then instead of continuing playing, they just quit playing iRacing altogether and they hate it. So there's the difference. You know, I had the patience to keep pushing to eventually get my I rating up and get my safety rating back up, but I know a lot of people don't have the time nor are willing to do that. So here is the reason why I wanted to make that video, or this video. So what I recommend is, if you decide you want to make the move from console racing over to PC simulations, I recommend that you play some other simulations first. Stay away from iRacing to begin with. Get Automobilista, get rFactor 2, get these other games that are similar to the physics in iRacing, and those are the two that I would recommend. It would be rFactor 2 and Automobilista. Those are the two that I think are the most similar. You can also get Assetto Corsa as well. Assetto Corsa is good too for something to do some practicing on, but the physics, while I think they're good, they are different than iRacing. So if you're looking for physics and the feeling of how a car drives that's similar to iRacing, I would go with rFactor or Automobilista. Run some laps. Take a couple of months, do some online races, do some AI races in those two sims first, because what you're going to find is you're going to realize fairly quickly that, wow, this is much more serious than console racing. I can't drive as fast through a corner. You're going to have to be more mentally attached to what you're doing, and it takes a lot more concentration to do well in a game like iRacing. So I just recommend racing some other true sims that feel the same first, like rFactor, Automobilista, maybe even Assetto Corsa as well. Run a lot of laps. Get used to how different racing on a PC is in a true simulation compared to something like Forza Motorsports. That way you've got a solid basis, you've got a solid background of how the cars are going to handle, how you need to react to other people on the track with you. So as soon as you hop into iRacing and you start that iRacing career, you are on the way up. And you understand that you have to be really careful, and anytime you bump into somebody on the track, it's going to drastically affect you in a negative way. You will have already learned those things. That way, you can use that concentration and that skill that you've gained to work your way up through the license classes, win some races without royally destroying your safety rating. Because I see far too many people, you know, what I've noticed lately is that the player count in iRacing is down, which is astonishing because they've got more content and the physics are better than they've ever been before. But even still, people are removing themselves from the title, and I think a lot of that is because it's so difficult. Once you get going in a negative direction in iRacing, it's very difficult to move yourself back in a positive direction. It's very hard, I'll admit to that. I've had to do it several times, and some people just don't have that patience. So this video is just to say that if you're going to make that move from consoles, I know a lot of you guys watching me are playing on consoles and considering making the move to PC racing. I highly recommend that. That is a super good thing that you need to do. Make the move from consoles over to PC simulation. In the long run, you will definitely enjoy it more. But I wouldn't jump right into iRacing without getting some practice on some real simulations first. So that as soon as you hop into iRacing, you can hop in, start winning some races, get your iRating up, get your safety rating up, and have a positive, fun career. Because if you do it without any knowledge of how simulations work, you're going to really royally screw up your career. You're going to have a terrible iRating, and you're not going to have fun. And you're going to be one of those people who says, I don't know why all you guys like iRacing so much. It's terrible. It's too hard, blah, 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 blah. But I think that is because people are jumping into iRacing without understanding how it works. And iRacing is more of a simulation than it is a game. Most games, even if they're a simulation, I still call them a game. But iRacing is a little bit different. It's almost like a career. It's almost like something that you're going to be taking seriously for several years or more, not just a month or two while the game is brand new. So, not to ramble on about this anymore, but I wanted to make this video. I've been wanting to make this video because I love iRacing, and there's just not a lot of people playing anymore, and there's no good reason for that. So I think it's that a lot of people are leaving that. They're leaving that title because it's not as easy. But what you need to do, guys, is just make sure you ensure that your career in iRacing is always going in a positive direction. You're always having fun, and how you do that is make sure you don't jump into iRacing and get started on the wrong foot. So I'm going to end this video here, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you do not agree. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video.